David was a shepherd. He was small but brave. He looked after his father's sheep. Goliath was a giant. He was very big and strong. He was a soldier in the Philistine army. David was kind and gentle. Goliath was mean and scary. They were very different. The Philistines were fighting the Israelites. The two armies stood on opposite hills with a valley between them. The tension was palpable as both sides prepared for battle. Goliath, a giant warrior from Gath, stepped forward from the Philistine camp. He was over 9 feet tall and wore a bronze helmet and full armor. Goliath challenged the Israelites to a fight. Every day, Goliath shouted across the battlefield. His voice echoed through the valley, taunting the Israelites and demanding a champion to face him. "Send out your best soldier, I will fight him," he roared, his voice filled with arrogance and disdain. "If he wins, we will be your slaves." Goliath offered a deal, confident in his own strength and abilities. "If I win, you will be our slaves," he declared with a menacing look, his eyes gleaming with malice. The Israelite soldiers were afraid of Goliath. They had never seen such a formidable opponent before. No one dared to fight him. The fear in their hearts was overwhelming and they backed away, shaking their heads. They trembled at the very sight of him. The mere presence of Goliath struck terror into the hearts of the Israelite soldiers, leaving them paralyzed with fear. David's brothers were soldiers in the Israelite army. One day, David's father sent him to take food to his brothers. David went to the Israelite camp. He heard Goliath's challenge. He was not afraid. David believed in God. He knew God would help him. Section 4. A Sling and a Stone. David, a young shepherd boy, approached King Saul with unwavering confidence. He declared, "I will fight Goliath." The king was taken aback by David's boldness and determination. King Saul, in disbelief, responded, "You're just a boy. How can you possibly face such a giant?" "Goliath is a mighty warrior trained in battle since his youth. He is fierce and formidable." But David was undeterred. He recounted his past experiences, saying, "When I was protecting my sheep, God saved me from the claws of lions and the jaws of bears." With unwavering faith, David proclaimed, "Just as God saved me then, he will save me now from Goliath." David then took his sling and carefully selected 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream, preparing for the battle ahead. With a heart full of courage and faith, he walked with determination towards the battlefield, ready to face the giant warrior Goliath. Section 5. Victory for the underdog. Goliath laughed when he saw David. The sight of a young boy standing before him with nothing but a sling was amusing to the giant. He couldn't believe that this was the champion the Israelites had sent to face him. "You are just a boy! What are you going to do with a sling?" Goliath taunted, his voice booming across the battlefield. The Philistine soldiers behind him roared with laughter, confident in their champion's invincibility. But David was not afraid. He looked up at the towering giant and said, "You come against me with a sword and spear, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." David's words were filled with faith and conviction. A divine light seemed to surround him, giving him strength and courage. He knew that he was not alone in this battle. With unwavering determination, David put a stone in his sling and swung it with all his might. The air was thick with tension as everyone watched the small boy take on the giant. The stone flew through the air with incredible speed and precision. It seemed almost guided by an unseen hand as it struck Goliath right between the eyes. The giant fell to the ground with a thunderous crash. The battlefield fell silent for a moment as everyone tried to comprehend what had just happened. David had won. The Philistines were scared and ran away in fear, their confidence shattered by the fall of their champion. The Israelites, on the other hand, were filled with newfound courage and chased after their fleeing enemies. David, the small shepherd boy, had defeated the mighty giant. His victory was not just a personal triumph, but a symbol of hope and faith for all who witnessed it. David's victory teaches us that even the smallest person can be brave and strong with God's help. It shows that faith and courage can overcome even the greatest of obstacles. It reminds us that we should never be afraid to stand up for what is right, no matter how big the challenge. David's story is a timeless lesson in bravery, faith, and the power of believing in oneself.